If you're a busy attorney or a physician or a business owner or a high income professional of any type that has a very full life, your investing strategy really needs to respect that. Otherwise, they're just going to be fighting each other. And you know what happens when you're too focused on too many different parts of your life, something suffers. And we don't want to see that for you. Hi, I'm Jonna. I'm a real estate investor, entrepreneur, and mom who built long term wealth through real estate, all while my husband and I balance full careers and family life. If you're earning a good income, saving for retirement, and doing all the right things, but still feel like your money isn't creating the freedom or security you want, and you want a great life, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hey friends, welcome back to Real Estate Investing for Life. I'm Jonna Weber, excited to share with you the kickoff for a brand new series of podcasts we're going to go through. And it is one of the biggest questions that new and even experienced investors wrestle with. The question is, what kind of investor should I be? We all have it. We all have that shiny object syndrome where you see all the different kinds of investing out there, whether it's on social media or on TV, or you're just hearing it in your local investor groups and you think you have to do it all. But if you're listening and you're a high income earner and a busy professional maybe, or someone that knows real estate investing is a smart path to long-term wealth, but you just don't know where to start, this is exactly why I'm doing this series. Because before you buy your first rental, choose your strategy, or jump into any kind of paid program, you really need clarity on who you are as a person and as an investor. And what's going to happen is that clarity gives you confidence. Today's episode is an introduction, kind of your roadmap into discovering your investor identity. The first thing I want to share is that you don't have to be everything. You don't have to know everything. One of the biggest sources of overwhelm I see is this idea that you should know all of the strategies, whether it's fix and flipping or the BRRRR strategy or small multifamily or Airbnb or midterm rentals or wholesaling or passive investing or commercial investing or syndications, and be ready to do them all. But here's the truth. You don't need to know everything and you don't need to be everything, but you need to pick your lane. And you're going to pick your lane based on a number of different factors, which we're going to be getting into. But the bottom line is your real estate strategy should fit your life, not somebody else's life, but your life. And that means your time, your income, your risk tolerance, your goals, your personality. That's a big one. And your season of life, because it varies. There's so many seasons for everything. My season of life was so different when I was running a full-fledged real estate team and I had kids at home in elementary school and we were running to band concerts and football practice and basketball practice and camps and all the things while trying to build a rental portfolio. It's very different than someone who is an empty nester or has sold a business and has a lot more time on their hands. So there isn't a best strategy, but there's only the one that fits you and what's going to work for you and your lifestyle. My whole goal in this series is to help you stop comparing yourself to everybody else and everybody else in your real life, and I like to say, and then your online life. That's a big one. And start choosing your investment path with clarity and confidence. There's 3 real questions that determine your investor type. These are 3 foundational questions that will help you understand the kind of investor you're becoming. And these 3 questions, they really shape everything. Question number 1, how much time do I want to commit? I don't want to sound like a broken record that time is the one thing we'll never get back and the one thing we've got this finite amount of. And the older I get, the more that I know that it's true. And the question isn't how much time do I wish I had? It's how much time do I consistently or actually have? If you're a busy attorney or a physician or a business owner or a high income professional of any type that has a very full life, your investing strategy really needs to respect that. Otherwise, they're just going to be fighting each other. And you know what happens when you're too focused on too many different parts of your life, something suffers, and we don't want to see that for you. So realistically, if you are in one of those categories, you do have low time available. And low time available investing activities might look like long-term rentals with property management. They might look like new construction rentals, turnkey rentals, which is buying a rental and having it completely done and rehab for you with property management in place. If you have medium time available, and an example of someone with medium time might be someone who has a part-time job, or they are a stay-at-home mom and can allocate time while the kids are at school, or semi-retired. There's a whole myriad of ways that someone could have medium time available. Some great strategies might be house hacking, small multifamily purchases, or self-managing a couple of rentals, okay? And then if someone has high time available, they might be looking at something like flips or BRRRR projects, which is buying and rehabbing and then renting and then repeating. And that is way more high maintenance and high touch than just buying a turnkey rental. Or maybe they're looking at short-term rentals. But here's the key message. If you have high income but low time, avoid high maintenance strategies unless you deeply love one of them and are just depending on them for immediate income. Because just because a strategy can make money doesn't mean it makes sense for you. There's a whole myriad of things that you need to look into to see if it makes sense. That, I think, is a real problem out there with social media, because I cannot tell you how many investors have come to me that are very, very low on time, but they think that getting involved in investing means these high time-intensive activities, and they get frustrated because maybe they don't have time to wholesale or to flip homes. Guys, that's active investing, and that is way more time-intensive. So by the end of this series, we're going to help you identify what kind is right for you. Hey friends, are you struggling to figure out what type of investing path is right for you and what fits your personality type? Fun news, I've got a quiz set up just for this purpose. Take 60 seconds and head over to jonnaweber.com/investor-quiz. Fill out your profile and we'll figure out what type of investing is right for you. Question number 2, what is my risk tolerance? Real estate really is a spectrum of risk. None of it good, none of it bad. It's just as simply about what keeps you sleeping at night. Just like there's some people that are risk takers that love to skydive, there's others, myself included, that would rather eat a spider than skydive. I do not want to skydive, but I tell you, my fearless son has skydived. Is that the right word? He has gone on several skydives, including when he was over in Italy on exchange in college without telling his mama. And he is fearless in that way, which I absolutely love and admire, but that's not me, and that's okay. So you need to know your risk tolerance. Risk shows up in areas like what your debt levels are. Last episode, we covered like HELOCs and whether you have a risk tolerance for HELOCs and putting your home at risk. It shows up in areas like vacancies, renovation surprises, market cycles, managing tenants. So think about where you naturally land with your risk tolerance. Low risk tolerance activities could be something like, again, turnkey rentals, new construction rentals, which have very little maintenance, or long-term stable leases. You can even purchase properties with tenants in place with long-term stable leases. Medium risk tolerance might include something with a light rehab. There's a term we have in real estate investing called putting lipstick on a pig. And that means it's got maybe good meat on the bones, but it needs a little updating. Maybe that's carpet and paint, and you've got a really nice rental after you get that set up. I've done a lot of those kind of rentals, and they're very tolerable for someone that has medium risk tolerance, such as myself. That's how I would qualify myself. And then small multifamily or value add projects could be part of that medium risk tolerance. And then high risk tolerance. This is a smaller percentage of people, but those are the people that go in with the full flips or the heavy rehabs or the short-term rentals or the commercial value add or development. That is something that you've got to have a higher risk tolerance. And we're going to go into that deeper in this series. But the key message is use your risk tolerance as your guardrail. Now, don't use it to create fear, but just the better you know yourself, the better you're going to fall into the category of investing that is right for you. It's not a moral score. There's no prize for being the most risk tolerant. That is for sure. And there's no prize for being the most conservative with your finances. It's really how you protect your peace. And protecting your peace it's everything. You could be the most successful person in the world, but if you are, getting through the days with caffeine and sleeping pills at night, that's not a life. So we don't want you in that situation. And you need to choose the lane that fits you and your personality. I was going to say your comfort level, but I think no matter what, if you're getting started in investing, you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable no matter what. And that's something I want to encourage you to be. So there's a difference between uncomfortable and just downright in a situation where you're taking on too much risk, but you do want to stretch. So there's a fine line there. Question number 3 that you want to evaluate when you're looking at what kind of investing is right for you, and this is so important, guys. What is my ultimate wealth goal? Because there are vehicles that are much, much better for creating long-term wealth than others. And so, again, this is something where there's not a right or wrong answer, but you need to know what that answer is. So if you're 35 years old and you feel like you've got a great career going, you've got 20 more years of solid work life ahead of you, and you don't need to tap or access that money in the next 20 years that you know of, long-term rentals and accumulation and letting that appreciation come into play is going to be absolutely huge. So your goal determines your path. But if you're someone who is really struggling to make ends meet, or you hate your job and you want to get out of it and create cash flow as soon as possible, that is a very different path. And we can walk through how to create both of those. But we can work with both of those plans and create a strategy, but we need to know what your ultimate wealth goal is. Every strategy is simply a tool to help you either create cash flow today or long-term wealth tomorrow, freedom and time flexibility, passive income, or a legacy for your family. So there's all kinds of different things that we want to help create. And the key is to really know what that end goal is. Each strategy serves a different purpose. Before you pick a strategy, get clear on what you want real estate to do for you. Do you want more cash flow, more time, more security, more freedom, a better retirement? Your goal points you directly to the right strategy. I'm really looking forward to unpacking this in the next few episodes. We're going to break down these main investor lanes that you can choose from, and we're going to cover the difference between active investing, semi-active investing, and passive investing, and how to match your goals, personality, risk tolerance, and time to the right strategy so that you leave the series with clarity. We're not going to just try strategies over and over. You're going to choose the one that aligns with your real life, your values, and your financial future. Time is of the essence. Time is ticking, and we want you to use your time and, even more importantly, your resources wisely and get the results that you want. Over the next few episodes, we are going to go over these main investor lanes that you can choose from. We're going to break down the difference between active investing, semi-active investing, and truly passive investing, and how to match your goals, personality, risk tolerance, and time to the right strategy so you leave the series with absolute clarity. We're not going to just try strategies. We're going to choose the one that aligns with your real life, your values, and your financial future. And if you want to go deeper now, I've created something I think is pretty fun. It's called the Investor Type Quiz, where you can find out your investor identity. Hop on over to jonnaweber.com/investor quiz, and we'll give you some answers about your investor identity in about 60 seconds. It'll be linked in the show notes. And remember, you don't have to master every strategy. Let's take it one day at a time. And you just need to choose the one that fits you once you've identified the things that we talked about today. I can't wait to delve deeper into this the next few weeks. Let's build your investing clarity together. Go and grow, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for listening to Real Estate Investing for Life. If today's episode brought you clarity or encouragement, would you please follow the show, leave a quick review, Or even better, share it with a friend who's ready to start building their future. And if you're serious about creating lasting wealth and freedom, let's connect. You can find me at jonnaweber.com. I can't wait to help you take your next step toward the life you deserve. Go and grow, and we'll see you on the next episode.